For the last few weeks, India has been racked by protests. Since both houses of parliament and the president passed the Citizenship Amendment Bill into what is now the Citizenship Amendment Act, these protests have only intensified. Despite repeated statements and assurances by both the Home Minister and Prime Minister, the protests don't seem to be going away. The ruling party says that the aim of the Citizenship Amendment Act, or the CAA, is to give Indian citizenship to persecuted religious minorities from neighbouring countries, namely Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. But here's what they're not telling us. They're not telling us how the CAA is connected to the NRC, or the National Register of Citizens. The NRC, or the National Register of Citizens, is a citizenship test that was first implemented in Assam. It took 10 years, cost about 1,200 crores, and more than 52,000 government officials were used to conduct this test. It requires every person living in Assam to provide documentation over generations to prove that they are in fact citizens of India and not illegal immigrants. Numerous poor and rural citizens did not have documents required to pass the NRC. It was especially difficult for women and trans people. At the end of the whole exercise, almost 20 lakh people got left out of the NRC in Assam. Most of these were Hindus. It was a huge fiasco. Why are we stressing on the point that most of them were Hindus? That's because this is precisely where the CAA gets linked to the NRC. The CAA now becomes a backdoor entry for all those who were left out of the NRC, as we saw in Assam, who belong to non-Muslim communities. So, for example, the Hindus who got left out of the NRC in Assam can now get instant citizenship under the CAA. Who can't? The Muslims who were left out of the NRC. The Muslims excluded from the final NRC list, which in Assam originally included a Kargil war veteran and the family of an ex-president, those Muslims stand to become stateless citizens. They stand to lose their voting rights, and they could be placed in detention centers. In Assam, the NRC took 10 years to complete at a huge financial and bureaucratic cost and was ultimately a colossal failure. In a state of 3 crore people, 20 lakh were left out. Now imagine a nationwide NRC. In a country with a population of almost 135 crore people, millions of people are going to face the challenge of having to provide documentation over generations for this citizenship test. Bureaucrats will make bad decisions. Lakhs and lakhs of people will be unable to provide the documentation and will stand to fail the NRC test and could potentially lose their citizenship. Now, in border states like Bengal or Assam, perhaps non-Muslims who are left out of the NRC could prove that they originally were immigrants or refugees from Bangladesh. But how does a Marathi Hindu, or say a Kerala Christian, or perhaps a Telugu-speaking Buddhist or Jain person who's been left out of the NRC, how do they prove that they were originally from Afghanistan, Pakistan or Bangladesh? We don't have the answer, and it seems neither does the government. Hi, this is Swara Bhasker. At a time when in our country fake news and selective news are such a huge issue, platforms like The Wire become very important because they bring news that is credible and verified. Support independent journalism by donating to The Wire. Now.